Rex Ryan, head coach of the New York Jets. Good morning, Rex.
How you doing, Chris?
Rex, did you watch Saved by the Bell?
No.
Never watched Saved by the Bell?
I think I saw it a couple of times. Again, I'm sure that guy's fantastic. I'm sure Mark was fantastic.
Oh, it's one of those shows that I feel like, Rex, it transcends time. I mean, it was shot in the early 90s, but kids today are even watching it.
Maybe that was, part of my problem is I should have watched more of it.
Rex Ryan, head coach, New York Jets. Rex, not on Hard Knocks this year, just not interested?
You know what? I mean, we talked about it, but we just never felt that it was right for us this year. And I will say this. I mean, NFL Films is the best. I mean, it was a great experience. We had a great experience doing it. And you know what? I'm sure the Miami Dolphins will enjoy it, this year. But we just felt that it really wasn't the right year for us.
If Tim Tebow was not on the roster, would that opinion be different?
No.
You still wouldn't want to do it.
Roster.
Was it a bad experience the first time?
No, it was a fantastic experience. We had a great time, and quite honestly, I thought it was great for the New York Jet fans and maybe people that didn't, never knew anything about the Jets. I thought at the time it was right for us to do it. I just think this time where we're at. Installing a new offense and things like that. There were a lot of things that went into it, but at the end of the day, we just felt that it wasn't, right for us to do it this year.
Talking to Rex Ryan, head coach, New York Jets. Rex, if Mark Sanchez gets hurt tomorrow, who is your starting quarterback?
Then it would be Tim Tebow.
Do you have confidence in him stepping into this offensive system right now and being effective?
Yes, absolutely.
What have you seen? What have you seen in Tebow that you like?
Well, number one, I think the first thing you see is a guy that is, a physical presence. I mean, he's 250-some pounds. He just, he's a rock back there. But I think he's thrown the ball with more accuracy than, the numbers will say that, we chart every pass and everything else. He's been more accurate. I think he's picking up the system pretty well. He's not all the way there yet, but he's picking it up. Brand new offense, and then really where the best thing he does, or one of the great things he does is he can put that ball down underneath his arm and run with it. And obviously, when you don't have pads on or anything else, you really don't see that yet. But that's clearly something that he can do well. Has
the hype around him been what you expected coming into this?
Yeah, I think so. And quite honestly, I think our teams handle it well. I think Tim's handled it well. Mark's handled it well. We all, we have a plan here, and we want Tim just to be a football player. When he's in this building, that's what he is, and that's what we care about. Obviously, he's an outstanding young man that has a great following, and those can be real positives for your team. I think people look at him, see negative parts about it, but I think it could be a real positive for us.
Why do you think it's so hard, Rex, for people to accept Tim Tebow as a genuine good guy? It feels like everybody is waiting for him to wind up on the back page of the National Enquirer someday.
You know what? That's unfortunate with this country. And really, it's hey, you know what? And Tim Tebow's not perfect. Then nobody's perfect. But I know one thing: he is a tremendous person, tremendous young man, and it's. Shoot, I think anybody would, if they had daughters, would love that their daughter meet a young man like this.
You're working on, obviously, a bunch of different packages with Tim Tebow. What kind of stuff do you expect to be putting him in this year?
Well, I think the biggest change for him is going to be, a personal protector on the punt team, and I think that's, it's going to be hard for teams to rush that punter when you always have that threat. Obviously we can fake it. I know with Westhoff, it doesn't matter. We're going to fake it anyway. So, but obviously with Tim back there, he can throw it, he can run it. It does. It's going to have to put your antenna up there. You're not going to be able to rush the punter the way you've done. And I like some people have suggested that they're going to try to run him over. Well, that's fine. He's 255 pounds. He's going to give it. He's going to give it as much as he takes it. I can promise you.
Has Mark Sanchez handled this whole situation as well as you think?
I think Mark has been this has been a tremendous offseason for him. He looks strong. He's throwing the ball with accuracy, and he's got a lot of zip on the ball. He looks really comfortable in the pocket. I think he looks comfortable learning a brand new offense. He looks comfortable. He's the guy that knows this offense better than anybody. So he takes a great deal of pride in that. He spends hours and hours in preparation, and that's obvious to his teammates as well. So I think he's had a tremendous offseason.
What do you think happened to Mark last year? The interceptions went up, the touchdowns went down. What was the biggest issue with him?
Well, actually, the touchdowns went up, but it's just the interceptions. Obviously, the turnovers in general. We'd fumbled the ball quite a bit, and we threw the interceptions, things like that. But you know what? It's a team deal, and sometimes protection contributes to it. Sometimes it's this or that, but obviously it always gets pointed to the quarterback. But again, it certainly wasn't all Mark's fault. That's for sure.
What's the next? You obviously have Super Bowl aspirations every single year with Sanchez. What's the next stage of his development? What's the next step for him?
I think we just got to keep winning. I think that's the big thing last year. Obviously, being 8-8 and out of the playoffs wasn't what we wanted. But this young man's won a lot of games, won a lot of postseason games. On the road, 4 playoff games on the road. There's a lot of guys that can't, that haven't won 1 playoff game. So this guy's already accomplished quite a bit in his young career. But again, he's as everybody is. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, but and I'm not saying that Mark Sanchez is Dan Marino, but I think this guy, when you look at it, the big picture of things, this is his 4th season. Never had an off season. I think every young quarterback took a step back last year, with maybe the exception of the young man from Stafford from Detroit. Almost every other young quarterback took a step back, and I think that was a product of not having an off season. I think Mark is going to take a big step forward, as is his football team. And again, the proof will be in the pudding. Same
level of confidence you usually have in your team this year?
I'd say maybe more so. I think we're about as confident as I've ever been. I think our defense is going to be outstanding. I think our offense is, I think both sides are really going to complement each other. And then our special teams, anytime you have a special teams unit led by Mike Westhoff, I think everybody knows it's going to be a good one. It almost seems like it doesn't matter who he has, he's going to find a way to get these guys going. And I think I think we have a deeper football team. I think our talent is young, it's deep, and I think that's really going to help us.
Rex, saw an interview the other day with Nick Mangold, who praised your weight loss but questioned the fact that you have not updated your wardrobe since your weight loss. What's up with that?
Well, there might have been some truth to it, but I got it. We have we do have our some new Nike gear coming in. They're the providing the equipment for the National Football League now. So I got that stuff in, and I'm feeling good about my wardrobe too. But yeah, it is kind of funny. Everybody was giving me heck about it, but I'm proud of the fact. I'm down 90 pounds since I originally had that.
Wow.
Lap band surgery and things. So I was at almost 350 at one point. I'm down, 257 pounds or whatever it is now. So, I feel much better, and I'm not going to say I'm ready to be a bodybuilder by any stretch of the imagination, but it is much better than it was.
We'll get you out of here with this, Rex. You are a co-star in the latest Adam Sandler movie, That's My Boy. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but your role in this is playing a die-hard New England Patriots fan with a giant Tom Brady poster in your office and a Bill Belichick bobblehead doll on your desk. Now, how open were you to this role?
I was open to it. There's no doubt. When Adam told me about it, I was like, I read through it. I'm like, oh my goodness. But it was, it was great. It really was. It's one of those, once in a lifetime type opportunities to work with Adam Sandler, and it was great. And I tell you what, I really enjoyed working with Lunell and Todd Bridges as well. They were terrific, and really, you don't even know. Like, I had no idea Dan Patrick was on there. I never, a lot of guys, Susan Sarandon, all those people, because you only have such a little part. And in the movie, I'm in the first scene and like the last scene, so I had no idea really what the movie was, and it just ended up being, it was funny, and I just thought it was great that Adam, reached out to me, asked me to do this, and obviously I was excited to do it.
Did you keep the Tom Brady poster?
Oh, there's a rumor that the bobblehead of Bill Belichick is in pieces. I don't know if that's true or not.
Thank you, Rex.
All right, my pleasure.
That's Rex Ryan, head coach, New York Jets. That's My Boy. Hits theaters this upcoming Friday, June 15th. I like that character. Cheesy lawyer. Is that what the thing? Cheesy lawyer with a Rex Ryan with a Bill Belichick bobblehead?
Who he calls the genius.
The genius. And let's be real. If that bobblehead's destroyed, it's because Rex Ryan destroyed it.
He's more uncomfortable with that than answering questions about Tebow. He's like, I can't comment on the Belichick bobblehead, though.
Oh, you got to love it. You got to love that he lost 90 pounds. 90 pounds after the lap surgery. That's impressive. I did hear Mangold giving a bunch of junk about not updating his wardrobe, but give Rex Ryan credit, man. Bravo. 90 pounds.